Hey, hello people. I'm doing a video this morning about Quinton Rampage Jackson, former UFC light heavyweight champion and former Pride champion. He's now just signed with Bellator. Bellator is arguably the second best mixed martial art organization on the planet, after the UFC, of course. And he's signed a very interesting deal with Bellator where he will be allowed to perform as a mixed martial artist in the Bellator tournaments. He will also be performing with TNA Impact, the professional wrestling organization. And he will also have a deal with Spike TV for a reality TV show, as well as a possible movie projects in the works with Paramount Pictures. The deal is a very strategically placed deal because Bellator is actually under the umbrella of Viacom, and Viacom owns both Spike TV, TNA Impact, and they also have a stake in Paramount Pictures. So it's a cool deal that allows him to do lots of different things. He seems excited about it. He says he's happy with both the money aspect as well as the upcoming fights. He's actually rehabbing from a knee injury at the moment, but he feels confident that within the next 3 or 4 months that he should be back to fighting fitness and ready to go in either his professional wrestling capacity or as a mixed martial artist. Now, they held a press conference yesterday, and I watched the press conference. It was about an hour and 6 minutes long. And then I watched a one-on-one interview that he had with a really cool guy called Wade Eki. Watched that interview, it was also very interesting. My take on Quinton Rampage Jackson is that I'm a little bit hesitant. He had this analogy that he used where he was talking about his relationship with Pride and how that went sour, and then his relationship with the UFC and how that also went sour. And he was comparing it to being with a girl, that when you're first with a young lady and you first start dating someone, you're super excited, but then as the relationship goes along, sometimes you start to notice things that you're not too happy about, and obviously you go from being overly excited to see that person to just being blasé when you see the person. So he was talking about that, and I watched this and I thought to myself, okay, this is cool. I'm happy that he's signed this deal because he's a big name and he can still bring entertainment. But my apprehension is the word, I think, is that he has injuries. He sometimes lacks discipline, at least as a fan. I'm only speaking as a fan. He seems to lack discipline where his weight is concerned. And I don't know how open he is to learning new things and learning new techniques. I think that of recent, Quinton Rampage Jackson, who owns one of the best highlight reels ever in MMA. If you haven't seen it, just put in Rampage Jackson Slam in YouTube or Rampage Jackson against a guy called Ricardo Arona in YouTube, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This man he's incredible. He truly is. And he's done some amazing things. He's slammed tons of people, picked them up and thrown them on their heads and on their backs as if they were a sack of potatoes. So in terms of strength and what he's done in this game, he definitely deserves everything and anything that he's getting. Hopefully it's all positive. However, my concern is that he is coming up in age. Of recent, he has seemed very, very flat-footed. I don't see him, moving around the way I'd like him to. And he seems to rely primarily on boxing, so much so that he actually complains when he's been matched against wrestlers, which I don't really understand that complaint, because though I'm a fan of Quinton Rampage, his charisma, how he can be sometimes in front of the camera, he's an amazing guy. However, you're a mixed martial artist. As a mixed martial artist, I wouldn't go into a cage trying to, complaining that someone's wrestling was better than mine, or someone's only shooting for takedowns, or whatever the case may be. I would go in there knowing that that's that person's game plan and trying to figure out a way to negate that person's game plan and get myself into a position where I can execute the moves that that work for me. So I find it kind of strange when he's when he's not been so happy with his last few matchups in the UFC. Also, I think that he's now moving up in weight. He fought as a light heavyweight with the UFC, which is a 205-pound weigh-in limit. However, he's now moving up. He's moving up to heavyweight, and once again, apprehensive. I mean, I don't know the caliber of Bellator fighting championships heavyweights. To be honest, even though Bellator on TV, I don't have enough time to watch TV, and so I haven't kept up with Bellator. I'll try now, though, obviously, because I'm a fan of Quinton. But, he's moving up as a heavyweight. I just hope that he's doing it the right way, that he's not just eating whatever he wants and thinks that that qualifies him as a heavyweight, because that wouldn't be cool. Also, my concern is that it takes at least 8 to 12 weeks, by Quinton Rampage Jackson's own admission, it takes at least 8 to 12 weeks to prepare for a fight. I'm wondering, with the various injuries that he's picked up over the years and his age and also the advanced, the extra weight that he's going to be carrying, I'm wondering how he's going to be able to, adhere to all the things that he's expected to do. He's expected to perform as a professional wrestler, which, though it's not a real combat sport, it is still very, very high level. I no longer degrade professional wrestlers. I used to, but whoa, that stuff that they do is amazing. You have to be in tip-top shape, even though it's choreographed. You still have to be, excuse me, in tip-top shape to do that. And in order for him to do that, as well as preparing for professional mixed martial art fights, as well as running around doing the reality show and promoting that, and obviously assisting with the movies that he's going to be working on. I mean, movie sets, it's renowned that even if you're just an actor on a movie set, that you're going to spend anywhere from 12 to 14, 15-hour days on a movie set. So I'm going to be interested in seeing how they're going to make this deal work. It's not the first time this kind of deal has been struck. Alistair Overeem used to fight in Strikeforce when they were around. He used to fight as a K1 fighter. He also used to fight for Glory. And he used to do all of these things simultaneously, and he seemed to juggle them well. Paul Daly, he does that extremely well. He's signed with various people and he's out there fighting all over the world and still makes it back to the UK or the US for various other engagements. So he seems to do it. My only concern is that Quinton just mentally, I hope that he's there, because if he's there, then there's nothing that he can't achieve. But he just seems to be in this place where he doesn't seem to want it, and I'm only saying this as an observer. He doesn't seem to want to fight anymore. He seems to want to get paid, which is understandable. He seems to want to be involved in projects, video games, and various other things, which is understandable. But he doesn't seem to want to fight anymore. So signing a deal with Bellator, I was a little bit hesitant. I'm going to be hesitant in praising that deal. We're just going to see how things turn out for the rest of 2013 and 2014. The only thing I'd ever say is, if Quinton Rampage Jackson ever watches my video, I would say concentrate on your flexibility. Warm-ups and stretches and and your flexibility is so important, because if you're going to put on more weight, and he talks about lifting more weights and trying to gain more muscle, if he's going to do that, I'd hate for him to become bigger and stiffer than he already has been in the last few fights I've watched. I'd like to see him execute more leg kicks. I'd love to see his Muay Thai being worked on, and him being a good Muay Thai practitioner as an MMA fighter. And I'd love for him to get back to wrestling, being comfortable with someone taking him down and trying to figure out a way of either negating the takedown, sprawling, or just getting out of that takedown, using the cage and backing your way back, getting your way, making your way back up onto your feet where he seems a lot more comfortable. I think the days of the power slams from Rampage, you might see them in TNA Impact, but I don't know if we're going to ever see those in mixed martial arts again because, there's just a time in his life and I think that time's come and gone. But I'm still optimistic for this deal. I hope that he takes good care of himself and hopefully he's definitely going to win me over to start watching a few Bellator fight nights when he's involved. So good luck, Quinton. I wish you the very best and, hopefully we're going to see some great things coming from you. All right.